we already have the power as a board to say yes or no on leasing township property. So there's no, as our law director will probably advise, we didn't need that resolution to tell the energy companies yes or no on leasing. And I felt that was not, I mean, that's an unnecessary action, and I felt it was politically grandstanding.
Asking the state of Ohio to put a moratorium and send out the same piece of legislation to the governor that hundreds of communities in the state of Ohio sent to them wasn't political grandstanding. That was ignored. That's a fact. Not just ours, but hundreds of other communities in the state of Ohio was ignored by the leader of the House, the leader of the Senate, and the governor. That's not political grandstanding. We asked for some action by our leaders in Columbus. It didn't happen. That's just the way it is. Okay. The resolution that we passed 2 weeks ago, that could be considered political grandstanding by some, but guess what? We did it because this board has a right to protect the property it owns, just like you folks have a right to say no.
Township trustees Scott Haws. And Scott, you got roughed up a little bit by some of the attendees to this meeting tonight. What are your reactions?
You know, Martin, with all due respect, it's a very sensitive issue. I think the challenge is there are quite a few educated individuals out there, but I think there's a lot of folks out there too that don't even have the extent of information that Trustee Giavasis, myself have. I've got a file just here alone of 3 on fracking information, to where I've taken the time on the township constituents' behalf to go over to PA, meet with some of those individuals who are the equivalent of the ODNR, talking to hydrologists, geologists, and so forth. And there's a lot of information. I don't want to see an oil dike sitting over in my Laurel Ridge allotment, but in the same aspect, there are outskirts of this township where folks own farms that they want to engage in this. It's not my right to impede their choice to sign on or say no to that. Now, I think with further education, it's gonna help all of us. The reality is what I stated earlier tonight, that if you, Martin Olson, contacted me and said, hey, I've got a concern about this, I escalate that. Now, what those individuals do with it once it's escalated, beyond my any type of continued follow-up, that's unfortunately out of my control. I think, though, when you look at House Bill 165 and 278, it was passed unanimously through both houses. So we're not talking Republican, Democrat, Independent. It was unanimously. And I do feel that, locally we do have to have certain rights and controls. However, the one gentleman gave the example that was standing back there along the wall that said, it's admirable that Plain Township, North Canton, City of Canton are looking to do something like this. However, what if you have little Robertsville, Ohio out there, and we're assuming we're all in the same aquifer here. They decide to punch a hole out there. We're still in that same issue. I don't think if you look at any board in any political subdivision, whether it's a village, it's a township, or it's a city, no board collectively has the subject matter expertise to governing controls, nor do we have the financial resources to procure that. So I do believe, to a degree, that it's proper to be at the state level.
Okay, on that topic, do you share Trustee Giavasis' disappointment in Representative Schuring that he hasn't followed up with Trustee Giavasis?
It gets frustrating, but to that same respect, Trustee Schuring's, for the most part, has been pretty responsive when I've raised issues or had questions. So I don't know if it's a matter.
But he does get back to you.
As a whole, when there's different things, I either get somebody from his staff or himself, and if it's a matter, like the fracking forum. He was back and forth with Lou, Ponder, myself. So I would say there was some timely response. However, when you escalate issues, I'm sure down in Columbus, okay, we've got another individual here who's concerned. Scott, nothing's changed. I don't have nothing to report out to you.
Are you prepared to ask him about the insurance issue?
Oh, absolutely. One of the notes here. Kirk Schuring, bonding limits increase.
Okay.
Action items. So,
Okay. On the grandstanding point that you made,
yeah.
who were you talking about specifically?
Specifically, I felt when the resolution was asked to be put on the agenda, it was my understanding that Trustee Giavasis asked for that resolution to be on there. I didn't call Trustee Giavasis out or Trustee Lino, but whoever asked to have it put on there, I felt it was a grandstanding matter because it creates a false pretense to the residents in here that we truly did something, when in reality we already had the power to say yes or no. And to argue the case of what it'll hold up for in court, that we've formalized something that's already...
How about the roads part of it and the parks part of it? Wouldn't that resolution have some extra legal effect that just having the power to lease or not lease might not bring with it?
I think when you... Parks, fire stations, township hall, absolutely. The roads I'm going to question, because if you talk with the title company, we have the asphalt and we maintain that. We have right of way. However, the township does not own the mineral rights below that property. So I would call that into question. And again, it's something I don't have a clear answer on, so I really can't speak any further to it.